Hello and welcome to another Get a Life moment with myself, Lisa Davies. And today I am joined by the wonderful, lovely Joanna Thompson, who is the founder of the Wellness Network. Welcome, Joanna.
Oh, Lisa, thank you so much. Delighted to be here.
It's absolutely great to have you on the Get a Life moment interviews. So for those people who haven't stumbled across the Wellness Network or yourself, Joanna Thompson, who is Joanna Thompson?
Lisa, that's an excellent question. I think the best answer is a work in progress. I've been working on it for quite a few years now, and we're getting there. We're getting there. I suppose I'm somebody who is always enjoyed working with people in various different guises, whether this has been in hospitality, where I started out, in financial services, where I found myself somehow, I've no idea, and then in training. And throughout that time, I think I've discovered, however hard I try, it's all about, I just like helping people without sounding too cheesy. That's where I get my kicks.
Yeah.
And I've tried focusing on the money side of it. That doesn't work for me. I'm all about making connections, seeing people grow and helping people to do the same. And that way I grow.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because what is that saying? You know, if you do what you love, you'll never work another day in your life. And actually, if you follow your passion, the money will follow anyway. So actually, it kind of makes sense, does it? Makes sense. So tell us a little bit about the Wellness Network then. So what was the journey through, you know, from hospitality to financial services to training to the Wellness Network? How did that come about?
It came about from, first of all, necessity to find a job. I've spent most of my working life self-employed. And as I'm sure people listening to this will often have experienced, sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad.
Yeah.
And I needed to get some stability in my life. That was where I was at. So I found myself a job in Lincolnshire. My other half comes from Lincoln originally, so we've all travelled around, but we've ended up in Lincoln. And I found myself a job which was fantastic. It did what it needed to do, but unfortunately, I've discovered I am not somebody who's made to be an employee.
Right, okay.
It just doesn't work that way. And I was needing something else. And I actually, the Wellness Network started whilst I was trying to decide what to do with my life. And speaking to a friend of mine who had just opened up a clinic in the High Street in Lincoln, and I said, "Oh gosh, can I help? Can I help do something? I need some stimulation. Please help me."
Yeah.
And one of the things I said to her, "Have you thought about having a networking group there, bringing people in?"
Yeah.
So that's where it started. It's changed and morphed and changed again in that time. And since obviously March last year, it's become an online. Every week on a Sunday morning, it's been an online event, and it has really blossomed, I'd say, in these last
So it
few months.
started out then for you helping a friend, but also helping yourself because you wanted that stimulation. And it was face-to-face and local to Lincoln then in the first instance?
That's right. It started off in Lincoln, because partly for me as well, I'd only just moved here.
Right.
So I didn't know anybody. So I thought, well, that's another good way of meeting some people. I was always so used to, and this sounds really wrong, but I was so used to mixing with other self-employed people, and it's a different attitude. And a lot of conversations I'd have with my work colleagues, I just didn't know what I was talking about half the time. And so I actually craved the company of those people who do get up and go and do something themselves and just think a little bit differently. And so partly, yes, it was selfish for that, partly because I was bored with my day-to-day job. And also part of me that needs to help. I wanted to help my friend make people aware of her premises.
Okay. And why wellness? Obviously, I know because your friend had got a wellness business, but what drew you towards this particular industry?
Do you know, it's an interesting thing. I think It's something I've been thinking about quite a lot recently, is how when you grow up, you have certain expectations about what kind of job you might take, what kind of career you might have, what interests you have, maybe one thing, but actually, and I was very much, and part of it's my own fault. I don't want to blame parents, particularly in this front, but it was kind of inbuilt. There were certain careers to go down, and I never quite got to the career that I thought that people wanted me to get to. And I've been fighting it. Whereas actually, I've always had an interest in health and wellness. I did an evening course in aromatherapy and massage when I was 18.
Right, okay.
Because I was curious.
Yeah.
But it never entered my head at that point to go into that area work. It's been something I've almost been fighting against throughout. And I finally got, do you know what? I'm really interested in all this. I may not know hardly even an oomph of what some of my members know, but I really want to learn. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who needs to be educated, particularly right now. How do you keep yourself more healthy? How do you cope with being, I've actually come downstairs to the dining room to work for a few weeks rather than be in the room upstairs, just to give myself a different scenery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Right now we're dealing with a very funny world. We need the tools around us. And so I'm really lucky and very selfish, because I can go and speak to quite a few of what I'd like to call them friends now.
Yes.
Because they have the tools to help me. And I think, gosh, I'm lucky to know about them. There's a lot of people out there who don't know what to do or where to even start to get themselves the help.
And it's needed more than ever, as you say, in this very strange world we're living in. So it morphed from being a local network that was face-to-face into this virtual online world every Sunday morning. But so is it national now, from different areas? Could it be global? What's it morphed into?
Well, taking over the world. We have some members from Bristol, North London, Peterborough, Derby. Most of them are Lincolnshire based, because that's where we started. But funnily enough, and I don't really know why this is, there's only a handful who would go to the face-to-face meetings. A lot of these people are completely new. So it's I don't understand why. I have no idea why, but that's just how it's been. We just before everything changed in March, we had just had a couple of months running with our Peterborough group. So we'd gone from Lincoln to Grantham to Peterborough, and we were starting and trying to get out there. So there was a few people from Peterborough who are involved in our online bit. But to be honest, there's no limit. That's the beauty of it.
It could be anywhere, couldn't it?
It could be absolutely anywhere. And it's I can't wait until the day when I can try and organise some sort of party or something. We can get everybody together, for those all over the place who we've never met face to face. I'm thinking that could be quite an evening. But yes, there is nothing I'd like more, Lisa, than to have people from all over. It doesn't really matter, as long as somebody is there wanting to help somebody in health and wellness, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, as long as people feel better after they've been dealing with these people, I want to meet them.
Yeah. So that's quite vast, isn't it? It's kind of mind, body and spirit, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So what type of people get involved then, Joanna?
Oh gosh, it really honestly could be anything. We have quite a few people who have hypnotherapy as maybe one of their core modalities, but as you know, I think once you get one or two modalities, you keep learning, and you keep growing to your adding to your portfolio. So quite a few people on those sides. We have a wonderful lady called Julie, who calls herself the Bread Witch, and I believe you know her.
I do, yes.
Who is just incredible. She obviously on Zoom at the moment rather than face to face, but she shows people how to bake bread. But there's also an element of singing and music and just generally community with it, which just wonderful. She's a really, really beautiful soul. I love her to bits.
And of course that the art of actually making bread is very mindful. I think I heard her say the other day that she once did a breaditation, like a meditation with bread, which I just love that. I love that.
Amazing.
And singing is really good for your health, both physically, mentally, emotionally. So that combination, you wouldn't necessarily automatically think, oh, well, that's health and wellness, but it is. And that coming together of people is so powerful.
So much. And, you know, likewise, we have with Monica, who's a massage therapist, and she's been doing a lot of online demonstrations to show people how to self-massage, because you know, how important touch is, and, you know, you can't have those hugs, and, you know, it's just as a creature, us humans, we crave touch.
We crave touch,
we really do. So having somebody to be able to show you how to do that for yourself, fantastic. Gosh, we have.
Here's the thing. You know, when you said to me, when you're doing an interview, the phone always rings, or the decorator's in and they drop something. And I was saying it makes it human when that happens. My husband just shouted from the other end of the house, "Are you making a brew?" just goes to show, even when you're live on video, live on screen, that happens. So I do apologize for that for the listeners or watchers tuning in. It's real life. What did it say? Never work with children or animals. Never work with husbands. That's what it is.
Yes, timing is never a good thing. I find. Yes.
Yeah. Brilliant. So a real vast array, and I think did I see that you've also had a new member join that is, I think she was speaking at the last session, that actually is providing home care, but from a very holistic well-being point of view. So real shift to that industry as well. So what was that all about?
Well, Lisa, honestly, it was we had a really quite emotional meeting actually when she did the talk. She was just amazing. Rachel was talking about how important it was that care, particularly for the elderly, which is where she mostly focuses, is actually all about care, not about, you know, making sure, go in there, give them a quick wash, put them back together again, and off you go again.
Yeah.
Actually, about
not as a financial unit that you've got to get in and out and gone. Yeah.
No, but actually as a wonderful human who's experienced, you know, many years of done probably some incredible things that you wouldn't necessarily even know or even think to ask about, has all these stories and these wonders, but suddenly needs a bit of help looking after themselves. And it was just how she described how they do take that time to look after was just amazing. And I think the really beautiful thing about it was that all the members were like, well, how can we help? What can we do?
Yeah.
And it was just, she suddenly realized, that's what the Wellness Network's all about. It's actually going, great, how can I help you get what you need? And it's because they saw suddenly, gosh, I want my mum, dad, nana to be looked after by somebody like this. And it was just like a real light bulb moment for a lot of them, going, oh my gosh, if care could be like this, well, wouldn't it be a wonderful thing?
Wow. Wow. So really, really different. So I suppose what I'm hearing here is the Wellness Network supports people in the industry, but it also educates the general public, everybody out there, as to what's available, what is available to support them. So it's a support network for those members within it, and also for those people outside of it. So how does the Wellness Network bring that education to the general public?
Fantastic. A couple of ways. The first way, we've been doing sessions called Wellness Explained. And basically what they are is every member gets the opportunity to do sort of a 20-minute talk, which basically covers the what happens if and when I do. So for example, what happens when I decide to go for a hypnotherapy session?
Yes.
They cover all the things that would happen. For example, you will not go out clucking like a chicken. Yeah.
Well,
Very important.
being trained in hypnosis myself, I know that to be the case.
Yes, that is not, yeah.
Unless you want to, of course.
And of course, having said that, unless that's a different arrangement, that's not normal. That's fine. But to take away the fear, answer any questions, any of the frequently asked questions that clients would normally ask, and hopefully just make people go, oh, do you know what? That's not so bad. I want to try this.
Yes.
Because we all know how much benefit there is in so many different therapies, but people are just a little bit, sometimes cynical, most of the time scared, and sometimes people don't want to be helped quite yet. So it's trying to sort of answer all the questions that could come up to stop somebody making that step.
Yes.
Really important one was the counselling one that Maggie did. Maggie Jackson, she's amazing. She did a lovely session on what to expect when you go for counselling. So imagine if you're really struggling with something, but you're worried. There's all kinds of reasons why you'd be, probably more than anything, to go for counselling. There's more reasons to stop somebody to stop themselves going than to actually go. So each sessions are done on the basis that this is what I do. This is how I do it. You don't necessarily have to pick me, but whoever you pick, they will do it pretty much the same way. So you know what to expect. And it's very much, we have lots of different people who do very similar things at the network, but it works because they're very different people.
Absolutely. And it will always be that you'll gravitate towards the right person or organisation or approach for you at that time.
And that's what they all say in all of their sessions. It's always very clear. Look, this is, you have to pick the right person for you, because if there's anything that's stopping that, you having any progress, then you're going to think that therapy's failed for you. And it hasn't necessarily. It might just be the connection wasn't quite right. That's what the Wellness Explained sessions are. Every couple of weeks on a Wednesday at 5:30. We record all of them because I know some of them, particularly, people might be interested, but they might be a bit nervous to come along live to it and not feel quite comfortable enough to ask questions. You can watch all of them. They're all on the website to watch whenever you want to. And the person who's done the session, their contact details if you have any further questions you need to ask. So that's what they are. The next thing, and I'm really excited about this, hasn't started yet, but we're going to be having the Wellness Network YouTube channel.
Fantastic.
So watch this space, people. So I'm very excited because it's a great opportunity for all the members to be able to, again, showcase what they do, give some hints and tips, find another way to meet our members and just, see there's something on there that can do to help them. And just a different channel to do it, really. But I'm learning all about it. So
that's another aspect. I mean, there are so many facets to the Wellness Network, really. When you dig into the surface, that's another facet of it, that actually there's development opportunity for people within the network, because, I know that you had a meeting about YouTube, how to use YouTube. There was also some marketing, so actually useful developmental tools, whether it's personal or business related, for those therapists or members, because they're not obviously all therapists. So there's so many facets to this. It's a wonderful platform that you're providing, Joanna. You must be delighted with the way that it's growing and developing.
I really am thrilled, but it's having the right people. I'm really lucky that so far so many wonderful people have found me. And they get it, and they are taking part, because it's like anything. You can go to the odd Sunday meeting, dip in, and that's fine. Or you can immerse yourself in it, get involved in the Wellness Explained sessions, all the different marketing and support sessions we do. We've got a slot on Radio Sign, which covers Doncaster, a weekly slot on there at the minute, which is quite fun. So we all get a chance to do a sort of 5-6 minute bit on there. And I'm always looking for something else. We're doing joint press releases. It's something that if you want to dive in and get involved, then I'm really hoping that we're all going to grow together and we're all going to get the benefit from it.
So it's very community based, really, isn't it? Within the community and out with the community. Yeah. So what are your aspirations? What's next? Aside from the exciting YouTube channel, what's next?
Well, really, it's about trying to build on our members. Really, we say we've got a lovely core at the minute, but for everybody's growth, it's always nice to have more. We just say we aren't we don't restrict numbers for particular services. So you say we could have 10 hypnotherapists, it wouldn't be a problem because everybody's different.
Yeah.
And everybody has additional modalities that they use with it. So it's not as simple as that. So that's one thing, always looking for people. And I don't want to scare people and think, oh my gosh, you have got to commit all the time. You don't. You can literally pop along to the Sunday morning meetings and that's it. We're not... we don't force people to do anything they're not comfortable with. But
there is a membership option, which is very affordable, or you can just do an ad hoc drop in as and when you want to.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And what I'm looking forward to as well, obviously, I've decided whatever happens, regardless, that by September, we're all going to be able to get out and mix again, regardless.
That's it. You're putting it out there. You put it out to the universe. It's happening.
September is happening because on the 26th we've got the Lincoln Health and Wellness Show going on, which I've been trying to get going since March last year, and I've postponed and postponed and postponed. This is it. This is happening in September.
Yeah.
So again, another area to be able to showcase some members and some non-members as well have come along as well to get involved in that. And I'm hoping that in the future I can have do more shows. In different places or all around the country. I want to get as many opportunities to get people's message out there to the public so that they can help them. They can help them with their health and wellness. They can help themselves with their business growth. And then just so people eventually go, oh, do you know, I need to find somebody who I can go and see about, I don't know, a reflexologist, or I'll go and look on the Wellness Network and see who they've got. Because
people will then think the Wellness Network is the place to go if you want to find the right people, because it's there's a good group of people there. Now, having been involved with the Wellness Network and come along myself, the other aspect that I really want to bring up is it's one of those types of networks where, like you say, you yourself said, it's like friends now. It's like friends. It's not a stuffy, cufflinky business network. It is a private space for therapists themselves. When you have one of those weeks, especially during this very unusual time that we've been going through, you can go along, I've had a really tough week. And you're held in that space and supported. And then the next week you come along and you say, yeah, do you know what? I've had the best week ever. And there's no judgment there. You are just held with those friends and colleagues there, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. We've had tears. We've had all kinds. We have people sometimes turn up in their pajamas because it's too much to get dressed. It doesn't matter.
Because we're all human, aren't we? And we're all navigating our way through this strange virtual world.
Absolutely. All I say is I just require clothes of some sort. That's all. That's all I get. Yes, it is. It's very different. Very different networking to what people might be used to. It is, and it needs to be, because people who work in health and wellness are different. Yes. We're a bit of a soppy bunch sometimes. We
care. We do what we do because we care and we genuinely want to help people.
Exactly. And so we don't need an environment that makes us feel intimidated or, oh my gosh, I've got to have a really slick 60 seconds. And if not, no one's going to remember me. That's just not, it's just, if that's what you're used to, it's don't. And if you like that, don't come to us.
It's not like that at all.
That's not, no. And having done network in various guises, particularly when I was in financial services, and I did have to do the 60-second slick thing. I knew that wasn't going to be how I wanted this to be, because it just wouldn't work for the people that I wanted to connect with. So Yes, you're right, Lisa. It is a very different place, and it is a place for support, and that's
And
what it's for.
laughs and giggles as well as, yeah,
Mm, yes, and puppies, often a
often
lot of
puppies
puppies. Yeah.
and little ones as well. I've seen little ones joining in as well. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, all are welcome. Fabulous. So before we end for this interview, as I ask all of my guests to share, what is your top tip for life, Joanna?
Okay. I would suggest it would be, I have the mantra: try, fail, adjust.
Okay.
Um, um, if I'm determined to do something, I will try and find a way to do it. And I think with the network is probably the best way of showing that. I have changed it in all kinds of different ways, different formats. And because I knew, so it was something that people would want, but I had to get it right. And it's taken me, this is 3 years now to get to this, a lot of learning. And that's why I say at the beginning, I'm a work in progress.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Because there's a lot of stuff that I've learned in different parts of my life where I'm hoping that that it'll all make sense at some point. But with anybody out there, if you do, if you have a vision of something that you want, and it doesn't work the first time, well then adjust it, try again.
Yeah. There's no
Eventually,
such thing as failure, is there? Try, fail, adjust. That fail is you fail forward. You get that feedback of what's working, what's not, and you adjust it. It's brilliant. Yeah, great concept. Love it, love it. So thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Of course, we will include all of your contact details for the general public who want to check in and understand what's available, and also for people who may want to join in with the Wellness Network and the great work that it's doing. So look out for the links below, and so do make contact, and maybe we'll see some more folk on the Wellness Network one Sunday morning.
fantastic. Lisa, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.